I'm Robert Firpo Cappiello, Editor-in-Chief at Hospitality Technology. My guest is Joe Tenczar, co-founder of Restaurant CIOs. Joe, we are in the back-of-house universal tech solutions space at a restaurant, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about how technology is meeting and how evolving technology will meet the future challenges of the restaurant back office.
Yeah, this could really go anywhere. I mean, judging by what I've seen of your back office, it's about the size of a conference room. So it's a fantastic job on that virtual put together that room there. But this is supply chain. This is hyper personalization of our guests. Shrinking margins to labor pressures. I mean, there's so much that are challenges here for our restaurant operators. Promising technologies. I mean, blockchain is, we hear that over and over. We've heard that for years, but it's not really gotten legs yet. But it's got so many applications, certainly from the supply chain standpoint. Even payment is one thing we've heard about with Bitcoin and other things. But I think from the supply chain, it's really, some restaurants are already doing it. It may become a little bit more. I think it's because it's not understood, is that it's not being utilized. I think if more people understood what blockchain could do from the supply chain standpoint, I think more people would be using it. And of course, the costs would have to come down a bit. Other supply chain, reusable packages is and trackable packages. There's so much waste in the world right now for all this, these cardboard and pallets and everything else, and finding a better way to reuse some of that stuff would be very helpful. Also, there's a lot of work. I think IBM and others are doing a lot of work from the chain of custody, from all the way from the seed to the shelf, right? And every step in between, you can almost track the chain of custody of that. So if there is an issue, you have to trace it back to where it came from. We know where the weak link might have been and where we need to spread that out and notify our guests, because we've seen some real bad things happen in that world, certainly. Food growing, pop-up managed food growing. You can now get a shipping container and put a full garden in it that can service all of your produce needs, and things like that are really exciting to see. And I think certainly in an urban environment, I can see that being helpful to at least the smaller restaurants, maybe not the large chains, but that's an interesting something interesting to watch. Also, the hyper guest personalization. It was at CES this year, and I saw a wristband you wear that understands your DNA. So you can tie that into your loyalty program or your when you walk into a restaurant and say, hey, these are the things that would probably be good in your body, right? And so it blew my mind to say we're actually at the DNA level of hyper personalization for guests. But if you don't understand who your guest is and what their behavior is, you're going to lose. And so more and more people are doing more with CRM and loyalty programs and things like that, just so you can understand your guests and talk specifically to them. So there'll be a lot more with that. And then, autonomous transportation is coming, and this is maybe a little farther down the road, but no, there's not a really good solution yet for all of this. Hey, take me to whatever, and by the way, I'm hungry. How does that interact with a restaurant? So there's got to be a lot of thought behind how we link that autonomous driving experience to me personally, what I enjoy, what I like, what's on route. All of that stuff is going to be in the market, and we're going to need to see someone who really exceeds in that area.
Joe Tenczar, thank you very much for sharing those insights with the Restaurant Next audience.
Thanks, Robert.